Dr. Jones, we are collectively the realization of your dream. Our unity is the culmination of your life's work. The legacy of Dr. King and Dr. Jones achieved nothing less than the liberation of a people and the reconstruction of a nation. America has lived through two reconstructions in its history. Whereas the first Reconstruction largely failed at the hands of Jim Crow. The second Reconstruction, I believe, has largely succeeded on the strength of the Civil Rights Movement. In spite of all the challenges confronting America, despite the racism that persists even in our own time, there can be no denying how far we have come as a country, how much we have overcome as a people, and how high you and Dr. King have lifted us all. And if anyone has any doubts about the moral magnitude of what has been achieved in these past 60 years, look no further than our own city. For the first time in history, the Speaker of the New York City Council, the Speaker of the New York State Assembly, and the future Speaker of the United States House of Representatives are all African American. For the first time in history, the mayors of America's 4 largest cities, including New York, are all African American. There were thousands of elected officials, like myself, of all races and religions, who stand firmly on the shoulders of moral giants like Dr. King and Dr. Jones. We owe these giants a debt that we can never repay. But it is a debt that we must never forget. Dr. Clarence Jones was a counsel and close confidant of Dr. Martin Luther King. When Dr. King was jailed in Birmingham, Alabama for protesting segregation, it was Clarence Jones who visited Dr. King in jail twice a day. And it was Clarence Jones who smuggled out Dr. King's famous letter from a Birmingham jail. As a Riverdale resident, Dr. Jones played a pivotal role in co-organizing America's greatest march and in co-writing America's greatest speech. Not only did he reside in Riverdale in 1963, he arranged for Dr. King to move into his Riverdale home in the lead up to the March on Washington and the I Have a Dream speech. The Riverdale home of Dr. Jones came to be known as Dr. King's, quote, command post north. Dr. Martin Luther King and Dr. Clarence Jones were both American revolutionaries in 1963. The most powerful revolutions in history are not only those that change the nature of an economy or the nature of technology. The revolutions that ultimately matter most are those that change the hearts and minds of a people. Dr. King and Dr. Jones inspired a revolution where it mattered most, in the very soul of America. That revolution of the American soul remains with us 60 years later. Clarence Jones remains with us 60 years later. And as one of the few living members of Dr. King's innermost circle, Clarence Jones has been described as the last of the lions. At age 92, Dr. Jones shows no signs of retiring from his lifelong struggle for social justice. He presently serves as the chair of a not-for-profit known as Spill the Honey, which is dedicated to building bridges between the Black community and the Jewish community. Dr. Jones is the product of a civil rights movement that inspired powerful moments of Black-Jewish solidarity. The image of Dr. Martin Luther King and Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel marching for voting rights all the way from Selma to Montgomery. These two men of faith, in the words of Rabbi Heschel, were praying with their feet. There were Jewish Americans and African Americans who not only fought together, but also died together for the cause of civil rights. Andrew Goodman, Michael Schwerner, James Chaney, all were murdered in the Mississippi River. The least we can do is honor their memory with unity in our own time. The moral lesson of history is that we are all in this together. What matters more than the particulars of our race and religion, what matters more than the details of our color and creed, is something universal: our common humanity. Upholding that common humanity has been